Hello, my friends. We got a couple of announcements to make sure. One, it's pretty awesome. The girls are doing as well as they are. I hope to get down there tomorrow night, definitely. I have to go to the Destination Imagination thing because my oldest daughter does it. They've gone to globals for 3 years in a row, and so I don't know if you ever did Destination Imagination. I want to support my kids, but my gosh, Destination Imagination, in my opinion, is like the stinking science fair. Do you remember the science fair when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Like you know, I'll go with the Brian Regan approach. You know, like I brought in a cup of dirt. You know, and then as Brian Regan says in his comedy act, you have kids that are backing up. Parents are backing up. Flatbed trucks to bring in their science project because their parents did it for them. You have kids that can't even button up their own shorts and tie their own shoes, but yet they created this unbelievable thing. So I remember a couple years ago there was a high school team. They were out of Douglas County. I don't remember what school. But think of a Destination Imagination. If you've ever done it, your group is supposed to make your props. You can be taught how to use different machines and stuff like that. It's fine, but you have to do all everything. There's this group a couple years ago at Douglas County that I'm sitting there. I walk up and the judges are all talking to them, and I said, "Looks like they used an acetylene torch on this." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "That weld right there is a perfect weld, perfect beaded." Like, "Yeah." That comes with 10 years of experience. Like, "No, they said they did it on their own." I'm like, "No, they didn't." And the girl's like, "Yes, we did. We did it on it." I'm like, "There's no way that you figured out how to make a perfect acetylene torch weld to weld two things together on a weld that's 3 feet long, and it's perfect." And of course, the judge is like, "Well, they said they did it, so they must have done it." I'm like, "Okay, trust me. I know a little bit about construction. I can tell you that there isn't a person in this building right now that could have a perfect beaded weld like they did."
Oh, you went up that?
Not like these.
I've had like a half a year experience.
This was the perfect 3 foot.
Yeah, I don't know how you did 3 foot. I know that.
It was perfect. It was. If they would have done it, it would have been glob, missed in part, glob, missed a part, glob. No, perfect. Perfect all the way down.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
And I'm like, doesn't happen. But needless to say, I got to go see my daughter and her group perform, which is great. And then I hope after that they head down to the game.
What are they doing?
They're doing
Some sort of nonsense.
Yeah, it's on has to do with the functions of the body. So they're dealing with the brain and they're working on concussion and they're doing it based on concussion. I think we'll do fine.
What's
that?
If you get a concussion, you're more likely to get another concussion. So
Yep.
if you get multiple concussions, you just got like a mush head, mushy head.
Cream cheese.
Got like 4 concussions. Snowboards and stuff like that. Rock climbs. So she just has like a mush head.
I can assure you, I've had concussions in life. I tell you, everyone's here. Yes, no empty seats. Oh wait,
Grant.
Yes,
where's
Miss.
Fluffy?
He should be.
Mr. Bill, it's your turn to watch him today.
I'm sorry. All right. So today we're gonna kind of this is an easier day because we are, I think, 2 days ahead of the closest class to us.
Orange
Yeah,
story.
we are.
Okay, you'll get some of it.
Orange story.
Definitely. I would like to go over last night's homework. I would like to start the lecture, but being that we are so wise as Americans to create daylight savings where we cut off the front hour of the day and put it on the back hour of the day, we actually are going into the shortest weekend of the year. It's only 47 hours.
Really?
Wait, what? Oh, daylight savings?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
not
So we spring forward, so at like 2 a.m. it goes to 3 a.m.
Does it automatically do that? 'Cause I'm gonna be up at 2 a.m.
Yeah, so if you look at your phone, it'll say 1:59, 2 a.m., then it gets to 2:59, and then it goes back to 2 a.m.
Still be happening at 2 in the morning.
It should.
Weird.
Is that on
Wasn't
Saturday?
Made like 60 years ago for farmers.
I don't know what the reason is.
Benjamin Franklin made it because farmers.
There was all kinds of reasons why they claim they make it. I don't know what the real one is. I imagine we could look up on Snopes why they actually developed it.
I think what we should do is
I don't buy into it. I grew up in Arizona where we didn't observe it, which was nice. Hawaii and parts of some other states.
what we should do is we should just get rid of all time zones. Okay, that is super chill.
Yeah, let's just make it.
No, I mean,
Make
How?
the world flat, call
well,
it
in
good.
China they don't use time zones that often.
So we are doing I.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying it would be hilarious.
My personal thought on this whole thing is, why don't we just change all the time zones by a half an hour, and that's a compromise for everybody. So rather than it being 10:25 right now, it'd be 10:55, and just stay at that. And then we satisfy this extra half hour.
Oh no.
We could just do it once, and of course there'd be some country that no one's ever heard of that doesn't abide by it, and so they're always a half hour different from the rest of them. Yeah. So, but everything else is good. Let's take a look at. Oh, let's open this. Scanning and here we come. Come on. We'll hit OK.
You just shrivel out.
Supposedly it's trying to load. So, let's take a look at last night's homework. Last night's homework was H. Was I? Was it I?
Yeah, it was I.
I. Did I open up I already?
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I understand.
How?
Geometry
It's supposed to be J.
It's supposed to be yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Alright, open and open. So looking at I, what did we come up with?
Number 8.
Number 8, hitting number 8 first. Fiona, can you turn the light switch on the far left side off? There it is. Alright. Okay, so I'm going off a worksheet I. We heard letter 8, or number 8.
Yeah.
Letter 8. We'll call it. Okay, so they told us that they told us that this is equal to 0.7. So realize 0.5 and 1/2 are the same thing. So I get 0.35.
Nice. Can we do 19?
19.
Not loaded decimals.
Oh, yes. Number 19 with all the decimals. All right. So that's log base 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 5. Right? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we can convert this. We can convert this into 0.0 or no, not that. We're gonna convert. This is tenths, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, hundreds, millions.
That's a little edge. That's rude.
All right, you guys talk too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tenths, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. Okay, so we get that first of all. Yes?
Yeah.
So then let's recognize that this is going to be 10 raised to the 1 to the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I can expand this to be log 5 minus log 10 to the 6th. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So they told us log 5 is equal to 0.7. 0. So they told us 0.7. That right?
0.7.
And then what does this equal?
Log
No, not 1.
5.
What's the exponent?
Oh, 6.
6. So that's going to give me an answer of negative 5.3. 12?
Oh, because log cancels out.
Yep, that cancels. Exponent comes down front.
Okay.
So that becomes 1. So 6 times 1. 12?
Yeah. Log
12.
radical exponent.
Ooh, we got radical, huh? Log root 3 of 2. Recognize this is 2 to the 1/3. Recognize this is 1/3 log 2. They told us log 2 is equal to 0.3.
Yeah.
All right. So sometimes it's tough to multiply. You know, if you have a calculator, it's great. But you could also recognize this as 1/3 times 3/10. 3's cancel, so I get 1/10 for an answer. Or you could also have 0.1. It's up to you which way you want to do it.
Okay.
So, and just for you all to know, I think Thursday we will quiz on this.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to do Friday because one, I don't want to grade over break. So,
Yeah, gotta give yourself a grade.
I feel that.
what else do we got?
I won't be here Friday.
25.
25?
Does he have the backside?
25.
Yeah, it's
25.
and then
Oh, is it just for your name?
So they tell us, so let's recognize this to be this, which is this. And then they told us what this is equal to. That's equal to log base x of 2. They said it's equal to a. So I get half times a, so a over 2.
Oh.
What else?
33.
33.
Negative exponents.
Negative, those darn negatives. Log base a of a to the negative 2. Bring that negative exponent out front. What does this become equal to?
Nothing.
Oh, 1.
1.
Oh, so negative.
That's it?
I don't know. What else do we got? Lesson you. Lesson you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
29.
2-9.
Bless that.
2-9. Log base x of a to the 5th. Bring the exponent down front.
That's what I thought too.
And then they told us, yeah, they tell us that this is equal to 2. Sounds like some drama back there, Kate. Go get on your phone. Hush up.
This person got cut, but now she's,
on the team.
Oh, good.
No,
Good
no.
for her.
Helicopter parents.
Yeah, you know that.
Actually, God, I bet you.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because remember, help was a booster club last year.
Oh, no.
That's a gimme.
What is 28? It's just XC.
Kate's mom?
No.
I know.
Ladies. She
She's
didn't
the
get it.
sweetest girl.
What else?
Talk about it.
Yeah.
What's 28? It says XC. That's all it says. Oh, never mind.
It's
It's long.
And C, I got
I
it.
don't even know how.
Wow.
I think that might just be a misprint.
I wanted to.
Oh, really?
Assume that.
And the sugar can you still
Oh.
solve it?
Yes. So. This X to C. They told us that log
No, I know.
base X. Kate's out of control.
Jesus, Katie.
They told us this, right?
Yeah.
So then I could take this and plug it in for the X. So I'm going to get log base X of 5 raised to the C. No, I'm trying to. No. Let's. Nope. I made an error. They told us we know this. I'm going to plug that in for C. So I get X raised to the log base X of 5. So now I have this. Those undo each other. So my answer just results as 5. Anything else? 32. Log base X of root B. I have to recognize root B as B to the 1/2. Bring the 1/2 out front. And then they told us that log. Oh, I forgot the X. Log base X of B. Log base X of B is equal to 3. So I get an answer of 3/2, or 1.5, or 1.5. Anything else? Oh, hey, did everybody in here take that sleep survey?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you did not take the sleep survey yet. We grab a Chromebook, each of you grab a Chromebook, and it's on your email. Okay?
Orange
Yeah.
story.
So, I want to start notes
No.
and give me 10 minutes on notes.
So chilly right now. We did it. It's so cold.
These notes will take over 2 days. I am not assigning a homework over the weekend. I know most of you are crying yourselves to sleep about that, but deal with it. So those of you that didn't take the sleep survey, just log on to, it's on your email, it was sent to you, it had to do with start time survey or something like that as an email. There's a link to it, I believe. Let's, if you're done with it, let's take it. If you want some extra time, let's you take some extra time. Cool?
On the topic of sleeping, do you think sleeper agents are a real thing? That's honestly kind of crazy. What if the dude just woke up and he was like, yo, I'm putting the KGB.
Alright. So, too many. Perfect. Thanks. Perfect. So if you have any homework to turn in, just come put it up in this orange folder. If you want to take some extra time on anything, make sure it's done. Then take the extra time. And then let's see, anything else? So we have, you all are ready for the capstone. You also realize maybe if you haven't done it and it will be collected or will be checked off and put in the grade book, there is under Schoology the logarithm capstone, and that'll be worth 10 points as a homework assignment. So do the best you can on it. You can take it up to 10 times, it'll keep your best score. If you have something to hand in, just bring it up and put it in the on the orange folder.
You did the capstone 10 times?
Huh?
You did the capstone 10 times?
You can do the Schoology version of it for the practice and review,
Oh.
and it'll keep your highest score. So get your highest score.
You get credit for that too?
Yeah, that's counts as a 10-point homework assignment.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Are we ready for this story?
I'm going to lecture for a few minutes. All right, inverses. So logarithms have inverses, and there's been some questions like, what is really a logarithm for? One, you utilize logarithm stuff a lot in later math classes, so we are obviously trying to prepare you for later math classes, such as calculus and pre-calculus, which is great. But logarithms are basically just dealing with exponents, because exponents make numbers grow much more rapidly than just multiplying or adding or subtracting or even dividing. Yes? Obviously, if you have a base of 1, it doesn't matter what the exponent is, because you got 1 to the billionth power and it's still 1. So we don't want the bases. But if you add any other number raised to an exponent, it makes that number grow pretty quickly. So f at x is equal to b to the x, and g at x equals log base b of x. Those are those undo each other. Okay, so the base b on the log base b, that has to match. You want your bases to match. Okay, and so let's hit this real quick. The reason why this works is because this right here is log base 10, so this just comes out to an answer of 2. This one, if we want to make it work appropriately, I need to convert 9 to base 3. So I have log base 3 of 3 squared x, like that. These undo each other. That becomes just 1, so I just get an answer of 2x. So you look at the exponent answer, so it undoes each other. These undo because they're the same bases, so my answer here is just x. And this one I have to make 8 in base 2 form, which is 2 to the third. So I have base 2, 2 to the third. So I'm trying to get this to match this. So these undo each other, gives me an exponent. My answer is just 3. It's not an exponent of 3, it's the actual number 3. Seem good so far?
Yep.
May I move on?
Yep.
All right. So we have found inverses before. Now, the first thing that we have to do when we find inverses is we have to look saying, okay, this has a domain. I can plug anything I want into it. So it's going to be negative to positive infinity. My range, being this is a line, kind of looks like a line like this. My range will go from negative to positive infinity as well. And if I wanted to find the inverse, I'm going to flip-flop x and y. And then I'm going to solve for y. Okay? So I'm going to get x minus 4 is equal to 3y. So my answer comes out to y equals x minus 4 over 3. Do I have a denominator that has an x in it? No. Do I have a radical that has an x in it? No. Okay, so my domain and my range of my original can go along with my domain and, bless you, my domain and range of my inverse. And who remembers the rule of exponents? If I were to take this here and plug it in here, what should my result be if they are inverses?
1.
Not 1. Not 0. What's the variable?
Negative 1.
So if I plug this in, like I just said, these cancel. These cancel. Yeah, you get x as a result, or a function at x equals x. That would mean they're inverses of each other. So that's something that we do need to keep in mind. Okay? All right. So let's find the inverses of the function. State the domain and range of both the original function and its inverse. Okay. So the domain of this right now, can I plug negative numbers in for x? Yeah. Can I plug 0 in for x? 4 to the 0 is 1. Can I plug positive numbers in? So the domain goes from negative to positive infinity. And then my range let's think about this. If I plug 0 in, I get a number out. If I plug, I get 1 out. If I plug a negative in, so if I plug -1 in, I get 1/4. If I plug -2 in, I get 1/16. If I plug -3 in, I get 1/64. Okay, so that fraction keeps growing and growing and growing. The denominator gets bigger and bigger. If I plug 1 in, I get 4 to the first, which is 4. If I plug 2 in, I get 4 to the second, which is 16. So this range will go from 0, not including 0, okay, because I can't plug an exponent in for x that will make 4 raised to it a 0. So it's a rounded bracket. So that's what my range is on my original. And then if I wanted to say, okay, I want to start finding my inverse, I'm going to get this. Is that okay so far? What brings exponents down? What function on both sides brings the exponent down? Not square root. What have we been working with?
Log.
Log. So I'm going to do the log function of both sides, log and log. I could also do natural log, it doesn't really matter, but this will come down front. So I get log x equals y log 4. So these are now multiplied together. So how do I get y by itself? By log 4. So if I divide each side by log 4, and then one thing kind of keep in the back of your mind, and we'll kind of make a note of it over here, is log base A of B is equal to log B over log A. So put that as a singleton log. How would I put that as a singleton log? How would I go from here back to that on that question? Can I go log base 4 of x? Is that okay? You see how it worked? Log base A of B, log base, and then it becomes log B over log A. Well, I have log B over A, where B in my case is x, where A in my case is 4. So if I convert it backwards, see where the letters fall? All right, so if we look at the domain and range of this, we have to keep in our minds this might go negative, positive, infinity, and the domain might go 0 to infinity, but I want you to think about this. If you plug in log of 0 to your calculator, it becomes an error. If I plug a negative number in for log, for x, I get an undefined answer. If I plug any negative number or 0 in, it becomes undefined. So my domain on this has to be restricted to from 0 to infinity. So that's what the range had been. Can I get negative numbers out? What do you think?
Yes.
I absolutely can. Okay, because can an exponent be negative?
Yeah. It's just on the bottom.
Yeah. So they flip-flop each other. Okay? Do me a favor. Keep those notes. We'll start these back up Monday. So the homework is, let's get caught up on anything you might need to get caught up on. Deal? Also, you know that Schoology for the logs is available. So maybe let's get that in the books, okay? Does that sound good? So this weekend will be kind of a catch-up as well as go into the Schoology.
Orange store.